Hello, everyone. I will start by chanting the three homages to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Namanda, namanda, namanda. To welcome the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, we offer the Zensho Kada. Zensho mi da ni u do jo u fu i gu u gan o ji i Kanon Seishi Jinja May the spiritual presence of Amida Buddha, Kanon, and Seishi Bodhisattvas, and all enlightened ones past, present, and future permeate this hall to send forth wisdom like flower petals falling from the sky to awaken those of us gathered. Welcome, friends. We have come together today to honor and remember Olivia Galloway. We open a sacred door now to do the solemn business at hand and bring it to a close when we are done. Olivia was a beloved daughter, granddaughter, cousin, and friend. Her short life was vibrant and creative, full of her beauty and compassion. We can see here in her artwork displayed, but also full of tragedies. Her life was cut so short by illness, and we are very, very sorry for that. We gather in this moment, an important moment, to acknowledge her and to acknowledge her transition from this life onward. Through merit-directed chanting of Namu Amida Butsu in her honor, Olivia will attain a peaceful rebirth in the blissful land. Olivia is guided by Kanon, the Bodhisattva of compassion, and will be welcomed there by Amida Buddha, the Buddha of infinite wisdom and compassion. She will find peace in the realm of joy and insight with no obstacles to understanding. Rebirth there brings an end to the long cycle of birth and death. It relieves all suffering. It awakens the Buddha nature inside of us. Olivia is not suffering. Amida's grace extends to all sentient beings. May Olivia easily transition to the blissful land, and may Amida Buddha embrace her in compassion and wisdom and hold her safe. I will now read a benediction. The benediction was written by Paul. Fred. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Olivia Lee Galloway was born March 21st, 2011 at 12:20 p.m. to Audrey Marie Galloway and John Russell. She is survived by her father, John, her brother, Darian, her sisters, Orion and Jackie, her uncles, Clyde and Fred, and her best friend, Sila. Olivia may only have had 10 years with us, but seeing all your faces here today, she truly had an impact. Her quirky and admirable personality was able to raise the spirits of everyone she came across. Her true love was art and cats. But her artistic talents were where she shined. Whether drawing or sculpting, you name it. Some of her art is here, and some downstairs too, in the reception area. Olivia had a lot of sorrow in her young life, but instead of letting it get the best of her, she persevered and raised the spirits of everyone who was in a difficult place. If Olivia were here, she would like you to see a friend, go to a park, or more than anything, she would try to make you smile. Very nice. We will now have the chanting of our sacred sutra, the Sansege, to affirm Amida Buddha's vow to save all sentient beings and bring them ultimately to the Pure Land. During the chanting, we welcome everyone to offer incense at the altar and to pay your respects to Olivia. The offering of incense is done with a spirit of gratitude to the infinite wisdom and compassion of the universe, and to Olivia's transition and her life in the Pure Land. It is easy to offer with gratitude in your heart. You come to the altar, a simple bow, say your final goodbye, and place one pinch of incense on the charcoal. It is very simple. I do need to put the charcoal there, so please wait a moment. 死無浄土志願不満足政府上昇が我を無力不意大聖主不再小便具政府上昇が我市上部道妙正長実表空教未証門政府上昇が利欲人少年上映主凡業死具無浄土異生天人死人力縁大古不生無才道少女三苦妙交際主役難回避地永元名詞根本閉塞小悪道津田全宗門高僧上満蔵異様老実表日月主十期天候音不言異種解放像法世苦毒法上王大主十聖表死死苦供養異細部具足修徳本元年史上満徳意三害を女部無芸地津田未不詳願学営力投資最小尊志願や効果大仙王感動北昇天人等無心妙芸ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ願にし功徳平等聖祭道菩提心往生安楽法 Sutra of Three Vows. I establish the vows unexcelled and reach the highest path, Bodhi. When these vows are fulfilled, we will attain enlightenment. I will be the great provider throughout innumerable kalpas. I will save all in need and attain enlightenment. Upon my attaining enlightenment, my name will be heard everywhere in the 10 quarters of the universe. Practicing the holy way of selflessness, deep in right reflection and pure wisdom, aspiring toward the highest path, I will be the teacher of all beings. My wondrous power, by its great light, will brighten all lands and remove the darkness of greed, anger, and ignorance, and deliver all from sorrow and pain. Awakening the eyes of wisdom, I will end all darkness, block all paths to defilement, and open the gate to enlightenment. Namanda, namanda, namanda. We will now have a meditation accompanied with Darian's beautiful guitar music. Not Darian. I don't know the name.
We're both Darian.
Oh, that explains it.
We're also in the same band. It's a very confusing. Small world.
Any Darian present would be welcome to offer a song for us at this point.
There you go. That's the perfect note.
I think we all know how much Olivia loves her magic dragons.
Yes.
Only equaled by her love like cats with cats. Joe with you are, of course.
Oh God, it's true.
But they all often go hand in hand. So,
Thank you very much. As is our tradition, I will read White Ashes, written by Renyo Shonin, one of our teachers. When I deeply contemplate the transient nature of human life, I realize that, from beginning to end, life is in an impermanence, like an illusion. We have not yet heard of anyone who has lived for 200 years. How fleeting a lifetime. Who in this world can maintain human form for even 100 years? There is no knowing whether I will die first or others, whether death will occur today or tomorrow. We depart, one after another, more quickly than the dewdrops on the roots or the tips of blades of grass, so it is said. We may have radiant faces in the morning, but by evening we will turn into white ashes. Once the winds of impermanence have blown, our eyes are instantly closed, and our breath stops forever. Then, our radiant face changes its color. The attractive countenance, like peach or plum blossom, is lost. Family and relatives will grieve and gather, but to no avail. Since there is nothing else that can be done, they carry the deceased out to the fields, and then what is left after the body has been cremated and has turned into the midnight smoke is just white ashes. Words fail to describe the sadness of it all. Thus, the ephemeral nature of human existence is such that death comes to young and old alike, without discrimination. We must all quickly take to heart the matter of the greatest importance, our spiritual life, and trust ourselves deeply to Amida Buddha, the wisdom and compassion of the universe, and recite the Nembutsu. Humbly and respectfully, Renyo Shonin, 1462. Namandap, namandap, namandap. It is now time for personal reflections. If anyone would like to share some special thoughts or memories of Olivia, they can come here and speak.
I'd just like to start by thanking everybody for making their way over here. I appreciate all of you, and thank you
It's
guys.
okay if you take.
Yeah, and thank you guys for letting us have this here. I appreciate it greatly. You know, it's amazing to see a lot of the people here, and one of the things that I was really hoping to make sure leaving this place I would do is to remember that each of you are important, and to try to spend as much time living life, because you never really know if you're going to be able to get to tomorrow. Olivia spent a lot of her time always enjoying the little moments that she had. And it was a moment right now that I thought back on where I had lost a cat. And instead of Olivia being upset, she hugged me and said, "I can't imagine how this makes you feel." When I lost my grandmother, she said the same thing. This woman was selfless, except for when she wasn't. She did like to steal food. That's about it, though. But she lived to her fullest, and she made a dramatic impact in every part of my day. My favorite part of anything was to hear something stupid she did or something fun she did. And I'm glad every moment I get to have spent with her and with each of you. Take time, heal, but don't forget more than anything to spend the time with the people that you love, because we don't always get to tomorrow. But know that you're all loved, and thank you for being here.
Hello, I'm Steven. I wasn't always there. I've always been there with Darian for as long as I can remember. And Olivia, she was something else. When she came into this world, there was nothing but smiles, love, care. I remember coming over to Darian's house after they've moved, and I saw Olivia for the first time, and she was crawling on all fours. There wasn't a day that she did not smile. There was not a day that she did not try to make you smile. Even on all fours, she would crawl to you and pat on you, try to make you smile in some cute way. She was always stubborn. She always made her own path. She never followed, she always led to her own. And if anybody wanted to join, they can join. She accepted all. She was beautiful in many ways: color, art, attitude, drive. She was really wonderful. She was a good sister. I wasn't there much, but when I was, she treated me like if I was there from day one. I just want to mention that she loved Godzilla, and that was mine and her connection. It was beautiful, fun. She would roar like Godzilla, and just remember the small times you have, the little ones that you have. That's it, I'm sorry. Thank you.
I usually don't talk in front of a lot of people, but sorry. I just wanted to say that she was a great friend and a great family member. And the first day that we met, she would make everybody smile and all that. I don't really know what to say, but yeah.
You know, it's really hard to put into words, as often as you may try, just how she can impact your life. The little things that she does to do to make you smile, whether it's she sees you sitting alone in a corner and asking, can she draw something for you just to get that little smirk on your face? Or crawling around on all fours and smacking your knees a little bit. She was as bratty as she was loving. And she was artistic through and through. She treated life as if Earth was her canvas. She would always try and teach you something new every day that she would read. She would always try and spread a little love through it's giving you a little candy or telling you something that she had heard that day. Anything just to make you smile. And I remember some of my most favorite times, especially the last few summers, were actually with her and Zyla here. The countless trips to the park, her demanding push me harder on the swing, push me harder, more. It's never enough. But it's those little things that sort of like push you to go harder, you know? And I remember like our little trips down to the dollar store. We would always make these little bowls of candy that they would often like to share with me, and it just goes to show how much of a caring and giving spirit she was. She always went out of her way to do whatever she could. She always hung out with the people who may be viewed as outcasts. She always tried to make you feel like you belong in one fashion or the other. She never wanted you to feel excluded. She always wanted you to be part of the family, part of her life. Those really is what I got to say about her. She was so caring, and so loving. Rest in peace.
My name is Julie, and I knew Olivia, or her other name was Boo, which was about 2 years ago when I took care of her grandmother. And Boo was a very brave little girl when she took care of her grandmother. And she was a very giving person. She always, every time I came in to see her and her grandmother, she always gave me a piece of art. She was just a very giving individual, and she's very creative and very brave, and I will never forget her. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I knew Olivia through Darian. I just wanted to say that I've never seen people care so much and try so hard to take care of Olivia. Fred and Leon and Jackie all tried so difficult to keep everything together, and I really appreciate that. I know you guys give your heart and soul, and I know she'd be very proud to see you guys. And just want to let you know that.
Hi, my name's Alicia. I work at the Generator, which is a art space here in Reno, and I actually just met Olivia this summer. She participated in the first summer camp that I had in my job there. We did an installation art camp where she worked with 8 other children, and they made a installation art piece that we displayed in the Generator. And Olivia was really, I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say that she was really the standout child in terms of artistic talent in the group. But the story that I wanted to tell about her was that we had another child who came, who was her same age, and they were just polar opposites because Olivia came in, you know, like a hurricane, wanting to get into everything, and she was just so in it from minute one, you know. You didn't have to get her warmed up or get her, she was going, you know. You just let her go, and she was making and building and was really amazing. But there was another child in the group who, you know, the first day she was very scared and cried, wanted to go home. Well, it probably won't surprise any of you that know her that by the second or third day, Olivia had made best friends with her, and they were just thick as thieves all week, and she really took her under her wing. And so not only did everyone get to have a better experience for Olivia being there, just because she brought so much to the group and in talent and personality and lots of Imagine Dragons requests when we put on music every day, but she, you know, that other little girl, I think maybe possibly wouldn't have even stayed all week if she hadn't if Olivia hadn't been so kind to her. So she really was a very special girl, and we really appreciated you sharing her with us for that experience. And I'm really glad that we got to have that with her and that we got to know her. And when you're downstairs in the reception area, you'll see that we put a couple of rocket ships and a picture from the group, and you'll see Olivia's in there hugging the friend that I told you about. So thanks so much, and we're so sorry.
Hi, I'm Rosanna. I know Olivia through hospice. I took care of her grandma. I used to give her a bath and stuff, but Olivia touched my life. Sorry. It's just hard to believe that she's not here now. But I remember when I would come over and give her grandma a bath, she always would give me this one. This one, she gave it to me. And this one, it's like for the Christmas, 2 weeks before Christmas. And I remember when I came to visit the grandma one day, and she was home, and she's like, "Oh, so what are you doing home?" "Oh, I got in trouble. I scratched somebody, so I'm suspended." But she seems like didn't bother with it and cool with it. But that's Olivia. I never forget her. Thank you.
Well, Olivia, what can I say? You know, she's my boo-boo. She made every day that she was around me better. And I'm going to miss her so very much. I think that's about all I can do.
I'll talk for you. I know what to say. So if you guys can tell, he has been there for her since day one. Me and Olivia both share moms, but we don't share the same dad. But in a weird way, we do, because me and her were pretty much raised by him. And there was never a time where she needed anything that he wouldn't get up to do it. I remember hearing him trudge in the middle of the night because Olivia would ask him at 2 a.m. to make macaroni. And you just hear this exhausted, "All right." And he would spend every day drawing with her, watching shows with her. He could name pretty much every My Little Pony character. Because he kind of had to. But I feel like if there's a stand-up person who I think deserves some appreciation, it's Fred. And he might not be able to be up here to talk, but I'm pretty sure this is what you'd say if you could talk.
Hi, I'm Michael, Zyla's dad, and I remember the first time I met Olivia and her uncle. I was coming home from work. I used to work graveyard bartender, and I'd pick up Zyla, and it was during the hot air balloon races, and her uncle, little tiny girl sitting in a blanket on the porch watching the balloons rise. And Zyla didn't have any friends there. There was no kids that lived there, and I just remember they met that first day, and then that's how it all got started. Oh my, If you guys only knew the stuff that they did. oh, oh my God, the manager would knock on my door and I'd be like, what did they do now? Like, oh, I miss her knocks on my door that would wake me up and I needed my sleep. And I'd be like, Olivia, she's not here. Please stop knocking at my door. And I'm telling you, I miss those knocks now. I don't know if you know, Olivia and Zyla have their own call. I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's like a howling wolf. Yes. Zyla, will you do the call for us? What's the call? You'll hear them. They have their own call. You'll hear. I'll be like, what is this howling going on? And they would have their own. Olivia would be howling at my window, and I'd be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, I'm gonna miss all those little things. Olivia was never scared of me. I mean, I was always firm, but so I'd be like, no, Olivia, you can't come in, please, 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 until I would let her come in, of course. Or Zyla would be like, come on, Dad, and I'd be like, you know, whenever we went anywhere, whenever you guys went anywhere, you guys would take Zyla, like, I'm gonna miss all that. Like, me and Zyla haven't even gone out since because it doesn't feel right, you know, so. And you guys know she was like another little daughter to me. I mean, every day she was at my house. Like, so I'm gonna say I love Olivia and I'm gonna miss her a lot. And I just want you guys to know that.
Hi, my name is Salvador. I've known Olivia since she was born, and I've been a friend of the family's. Excuse me. Olivia was, since I've known her, she's always been so full of life and was always happy and one of the smartest kids I've ever met. But now I know we give that credit to the people around her, Fred, Darian, and Grandma. It saddens me that she's no longer with us, but at the same time, she doesn't feel gone. She's still with us in our hearts, and her brightness is, you can see it all over. Now that she has reunited with Grandma and Audie, to me now, together they're shining brighter than the sun, and they're still with us, regardless of if she's here physically or not. I don't know what else to say, but I guess we love Olivia, and thank you everyone for being here, and thank you Fred and Darian for always being there for her and raising her to be who she was. Thank you.
To excuse my ugly cry face. I don't know what I can say that's new from everything everybody else has said. Everything they've said is so beautiful and it's so true. But I just wanted to give an example of how impactful she was on everybody she met. We went to Six Flags together in California this summer. I'm so glad we went. And we were there at my aunt's for a couple days. And my aunt and uncle only knew her for those 2 days. And when they found out what happened, they were like, we're gonna be there. 100% we're gonna be there. And if they didn't both have strep throat right now, they would be here. It only took 2 days. And they loved her already. Because how could you not? Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Hello. I knew Olivia for a very short time, probably only like 2-3 years at this point. But every single time that I would come over to visit Darian or come over to hang out in the area, she would always constantly be so excited to come out and see me, and just, she'd jump on me, Sarah, Sarah. She'd climb into my arms and she would not let go. That girl had strength. She's always been extremely exuberant and always been so kind and giving in all of the pieces of artwork and every smile and every moment that she had with somebody. She would make sure that they knew that she was there and that she was going to make sure that you were happy, that you were cared for. And absolutely everything that everybody else has been saying is true. She's always been a leader, always been such a strong personality, and I have never met a smarter young girl. She literally felt like a little sister to me, one that I did not have, and I miss her every day that she's been gone, and I know that nobody is going to forget her, that's for sure. And I just hope that everybody is going to be able to move on and live happily and keep her in her spirit, in her memory alive. Thank you.
And now, to finish, please say after me, if we make Gasho, our great wish to Olivia. May you be happy. May you be free from harm. May you receive boundless compassion. And may peace and harmony fill your heart. This concludes our service. There are refreshments and some tables downstairs, so we'll gather there and share personally. Think of Olivia. Thank you.